everyone! Today I wanted to share with you a topic that I'm very passionate about, and it is just about healthy living that I myself never knew about when I was like, younger, my younger self. Now that I'm married and I have children, I am much more aware of wanting the best for my family and myself. I want to be able to live as long as I can, to take care of my kids and be there for them. And so today I am so lucky because I have a friend from Hong Kong that just came, and he is part of Green Monday and Green Common Green Monday.
Yes.
And so he promotes a more plant-based diet and just healthy eating in Hong Kong, and actually internationally now. You're trying to
around the world, yes.
You're trying to spread this wonderful message of taking care of ourselves, which leads to taking care of our whole planet. And yeah, so this topic today is going to be very helpful to everyone, because I know that everyone wants to lead a healthier life, but you don't know how. And we were never educated at school on, like what do you put in your body to actually make it be able to grow like a beautiful, like a healthy plant, with good roots. And for me, I would say that back in the day when I was totally clueless about food and what I put in my body, I saw a lot of consistently kind of different problems in my life. For example, I would say skin rashes, just out of the, all of a sudden I get this eczema on my face, on like crevices in my joints and stuff, on my skin, and I didn't understand why. And I would be tired all the time. I would be constantly fatigued, even if I slept 8, 9, 10 hours. I was always asking why, but I had no time, and I didn't even care because I thought I was doing the right thing. Whatever food that I could put in my body, I just consume it. If it made me feel good, I was like, I'm doing something good for myself. But actually, I wasn't.
I think what you describe is the problem for many people. I mean, people are not aware that, when you say you sleep 8, 9, 10 hours but still feel tired, I think that's very common for a lot of people. And then, eating ourselves to all sorts of just health issues, whether that's skin, whether that's our own health overall. I think people really underestimate how our choice of food has a huge impact. And if we simply choose smarter and wiser, food is the best medicine. That's what I believe. So, and nowadays, food even has a big implication on the planet. Impact. I mean, when we talk about climate change, water, land, all these issues, food insecurity, it has to do with our choice of food. So,
it's so weird. Like last year in Vancouver, in Canada, it was cold for a long time, and when summer hit, we got heat waves that was quite unbearable,
And that's unheard of in the Pacific Northwest.
It was. And then this year, also, our rain has been going on for so long, and today we're very lucky. We have a cloudy day with a bit of sun, but this summer seems like it's so much shorter than the previous years, and that's a total wake-up call for me. Is I'm like, okay, something's going on with our planet, and it's not good. So we do really need to we need to do something about it. We need to be aware of what we're doing to our planet, and a lot of times it really is the first thing we can do is through diet.
Yes. I mean, when people talk about a low-carbon lifestyle, like what can we do to combat climate change? I mean, it sounds like it's something that only like huge corporations or government leaders can do, but that's completely not true, because we as individuals, each one of us, like what we do, what we buy, what we eat, has an impact. And if we can all select things greener and more consciously, and from a food standpoint, really just simply cutting down on meats and dairy. I mean, you don't have to be a complete vegan, but you know, a lot of people do not understand that, you know, a huge percentage of our greenhouse gas of the world, besides coming from energy and transportation, is from the livestock industry. So, you know, meat and dairy, just shift, moderate, or of course more portion out of it. We can do a lot of good.
When I was introduced to eating a more like greener diet, I saw the changes actually quite quickly. It was like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and eventually.
That fast.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
really
very
fast.
noticeable then.
It was very noticeable. Just as long as I didn't intake things that were inflaming my body and wasn't making my body inside scream for help, it kind of settled down, and then everything just, I started healing. And so I continued with that diet, and I started to educate myself. I started to read books on like plant-based diets and asking, even like I started meeting. It's funny how energy, like it's like when your mind is,
you start meeting like-minded people,
yes.
right? Well, that happens to me
and
all the
that's how I
time.
met you, actually.
When you were in Hong Kong, we caught up, we met, and shared so much in common. I mean, what I do every day really is just about, you know, educating people about our choice, right? Just our diet choice, our life choice, and how that has huge implication on obviously our own health, and then collective, the whole planet's future, really. I mean, it is not just, you know, about, oh, do you go vegan? Do you eat more meat or not? I think everyone should shift in a moderate way. And that's the reason why our movement is called Green Monday. Just suggesting that everyone go plant-based at least 1 day a week.
And it can be any day of the week.
Of course it can be any day, you know. Monday is just, well, on one hand, you know, usually we overeat on weekends. You know, on Saturday and Sunday, people go to parties, go to hot pot, barbecue. So Monday is just a good chance to detox, maybe. And the other one is just, you know, Monday is symbolic to a new beginning.
I wanted to share in 2016, 2017, and a part of 2018, I shifted gradually to a vegan diet. It was very hard in the beginning because I was craving for steak. I was craving for pasta, like hamburgers, French fries, and just a lot of junk food and outside, you know, MSG, like all that food, because it was so tasty and satisfying to my belly.
It's hard to see you eating a lot of burgers, though.
Yeah, but I actually eat a lot.
Right.
I do.
You used to.
I look like I don't, but I can eat a lot. And my husband even says what he likes about me is that I can eat a lot, because he thinks then we can be more free. Because if he's with like a girl that constantly, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, you know, he thinks it's not as fun, right? So, anyways, I think I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? So. Yeah, so back in the day, what was I saying? What was I saying?
You were saying about you were craving for, even when you turned vegan, you were gradually turning vegan.
So when I
craving.
started to go the vegan route, I mean, I was clueless about it. I had to ask a lot of friends and, you know, professionals to guide me. And at first I was like, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to maintain this type of diet. It's so blah, it's so bland, but it's so interesting because I had my husband to go on this route with me. And so at least there was someone to kind of, you know, I would say at that moment it felt like a bit of suffering. Like at least I had someone to team up with me in this suffering kind of thing. But I knew I was going the good route, and I know that every good result you want, there's no fast route. You got to kind of persevere, and you gotta, when you want something good in life, you gotta work hard at it. So I tried it. After 1 week of going total vegan, all right, I started to still not like it. I did my second week and I was like, I guess it's getting a little bit better, but oh my God, when I see someone else eating like a steak or something, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want it. But I have to tell you, after 1 month of complete veganism and juicing and all that stuff, it was like that day I remember, suddenly I was like, I woke up awakened or something. I can't explain it, but my experience was like, I was like, Logong, this tastes really good. Like I was eating my yams and my butternut squash and roasted vegetables and stuff. And I was just like, oh, I can taste the yam. I can taste the kale. I can taste the quinoa, and it was tasty. But before it was blah. So what happened to my body was I slowly cleaned out all that gross, inflamed junk that was in my body. And I had clearer, happier cells. I had cleaner blood. So when I ate my food, I felt alive. That's one thing I felt. I felt alive. And because of that, I continued on with it. When I went back to Hong Kong, I remember, and I was doing interviews, people started asking me and they're like, Linda, did something happen to you? How come you seem more mature now? They asked me the reporters that, saw me when I was 19, saw me grow up, the whole time. They were like, Linda, I can't explain, but I feel something's different about you. The way you talk, the way you walk, the way you present yourself. They're like, you're so much more in tune with yourself and confident and just more at peace, I think. And I was like, I knew why that happened, but I didn't share it with people. But I was just like, it's because I think I cleaned out the junk in my body.
So,
I mean?
I really love that quote. You said your cells became happier.
They're like bouncing inside.
And then, you become alive.
And when I had Jared, my son, that was in 2018, right? I was vegan already.
Right.
And I was pregnant and I was vegan.
So when you had, during your pregnancy, you were vegan?
With Jared, I was vegan.
Right.
And I was like, my son came out, he was so cute, like he looked so chubby, but I was vegan.
And perfectly healthy.
Oh, perfectly healthy. He didn't even have that red stuff in his body. You know how all babies come out?
Yeah.
He have all that little baby acne. He rarely had it.
That is, for a lot of moms or just going through pregnancy, that's always the question is, The
thing was, he was chubby. Do you know what I mean? You would think you have to eat lots of meat, lots of milk, lots of...
Yes.
To make your baby chubby. But he came out and I was vegan, and he came out stronger than ever. Touch wood, he's cute.
And then over the last few years, probably has very good immune system too.
I think so.
Right, because
I think so.
when you have just natural food, minimal processing or even no processing, obviously your body, that is how we defend against any virus or any illness, quite frankly.
Yeah, and now that they're older, I must admit, I can't keep up with that veganism because kids, when they get older, when they see green stuff, they're like, it's green, I'm not gonna eat it, okay? But at least I try to incorporate in between meals as much as possible. Or if they don't, then I put it in smoothies. Or I try to do something where
you kind of hide it.
Hide it. And I don't expect them to be vegan. And now I'm not as vegan, I must admit, because, you know, I have to adjust with my kids and make sure they do, you know, eat and stuff. But at least I'm more aware, and when I'm choosing foods and when I'm choosing what to cook, it's like, I think it's healthy, you know, considered still
I think it's
quite
all
healthy.
about that awareness, that mindfulness, and doing it as a routine.
Yeah,
is the key.
You don't have to be like me in 2016
you
to
shouldn't
18
feel pressure
and be 100% vegan. Like, that's quite drastic.
You know, sometimes your family may think, well, you know, then what do they eat? You know, and it may even create conflict. So I always believe a moderate approach, but consistent.
Yeah, like the movement that you're doing is once a week. Just try it out. And
but personally, I've been plant-based for 21 years.
Yeah.
And I totally...
And look how cute you look.
Well, I think relative to people my age, you know, I still keep okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's about, I think you mentioned about the mental clarity.
Yes.
I can totally feel it. It doesn't mean I don't get tired, but you just recover faster.
Yeah.
And, you know, in terms of juggling a lot of work, a lot of tasks, I managed to be able to juggle most of them. I mean, and always have that clarity of thoughts. So that is a sharing that a lot of people who have turned plant-based kind of have that similar feeling. Is, you know, their minds are clearer, they can focus better.
Yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people actually eat themselves to illness, to be honest.
Yes.
Nowadays.
And the thing is, they eat themselves to illness, but they don't even know.
And they keep doing it.
They don't know.
Yes, I mean, and you know, after a while, they don't even know this is how chronic diseases happen. And at the same time, why? You know, people nowadays at super young age, you know, getting heart disease, cancer, of course, all the like 3 highs, like the high cholesterol, high everything basically that's come from our wrong diets and our wrong lifestyle.
It's getting younger and younger that
very clear.
You know, people are affected.
For most kids, I mean, it is about like a certain boundary. I mean, it's not like, of course, all kids, or even adults too, right? We all want, you know, we want our share of comfort food.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes just, you know, even though we know it may be guilty, but just, you know, but at the same time, it's about a boundary. Just, you know, certain things you say, hey, we should not be touching those, because once you indulge, it's very hard to, you know, kind of reel it back. Like you start consuming that on a much more, you know, regular basis, and before you know it, it becomes a problem. So, yeah, that's why I'm a big believer of like building good habits and setting certain boundaries. Like I have 2 daughters, and like my younger daughter, she's not vegan, but at the same time, she's becoming much more conscious about just, you know, less dairy or basically no dairy, and then just very selective in terms of the meats that she eats. So, and you know, after a while, it becomes a habit. Even if her friends may be, you know, consuming certain type of fast food, or, you know, she would say, hey, you know, I prefer more veggie rather than more this. So it is just a habit and a routine that we build. And after a while, it becomes just the normal thing that you start to know, okay, say no to certain, you know, type of food and products, and these are the ones that you want.
So, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope we gave you a little bit of insight on what we think is a healthier way of living and loving our planet. And we hope to, you know, eventually share more of this information, because I know a lot of people maybe don't know. This might be their first time even hearing that, oh, eating more green or a plant-based diet is actually good for you.
There are many things that, you know, we can share. Hopefully we can do this more often.
Yeah.
And, you know, recipes, cooking. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fun in terms of exploring a healthier lifestyle. It's not always about what you cannot eat, but it opens you to a whole new world. So, you know, follow Linda for more great ideas and also just good tips. And a lot of things that we love to share. Go check out Green Monday too.
Thank you. from the bottom of our hearts.